So, today we're talking about puppy training, but with a twist you probably didn't see coming. What if the biggest challenge, the biggest hurdle, has absolutely nothing to do with your puppy? What if it's all about you? The person behind this idea starts with a sentence that, well, if you've ever had a puppy, it might make you want to scream. They just come right out and say it. Training a puppy isn't hard. Yeah, I know. Let that one just hang in the air for a second. And there's the punchline. The real challenge? It isn't the dog. It's us. It's how incredibly hard it is to change our own habits, our own instincts. Okay, let's get into how they figured this out. Our story starts exactly where you'd expect, in that huge gap between the perfect puppy you imagined and the chaotic reality you're actually living in. This first part is called The Truth No One Told Me, and boy, is that a relatable feeling. So, what were the big assumptions at first? Well, they're the ones we all make. You bring this little fluff ball home, and you think, okay, love will be enough, patience is all I need. If I just try really, really hard, they'll just get it. Sounds familiar, right? But then reality hits like a ton of bricks. You say come, and you get nothing. You call their name, and they look right through you. The second you turn your back, it's total chaos. And you start to get this nagging feeling, don't you? Like, is he doing this on purpose? And that's when the big, scary question starts to creep in. Is my puppy broken? Is he just stubborn? What's wrong with him? That's the moment you start to think the problem is 100% the dog. But here's where everything takes a sharp turn. We get to this massive shift in perspective, this realization that the problem wasn't the puppy, not at all. It was something, well, something a lot harder to admit. It was all about timing. That's it. That was the whole secret. It wasn't about being louder or more patient or trying harder, just timing. And that one little word changes absolutely everything. Okay, let's break this down because this is huge. We all think training is about control, right? Being firm, repeating sit, sit, sit. But here's the scientific truth. Puppies learn in these tiny split-second moments. They have this incredibly short window, like maybe 1 or 2 seconds, to connect what they just did with a reward or correction. If you're even a few seconds late, poof, the lesson is completely lost. They have no idea what you're even talking about anymore. All right, so once that clicks, you get to the big turning point. This is where the whole approach just flips on its head. It's about moving away from talking at your dog all the time, and instead, just watching them. And here's the new game plan, step by step. First, just stop talking so much. Seriously, close your mouth and just watch. And when you start really observing, you begin to see these little tells, these subtle signs that a mistake is about to happen. And that's your chance to step in before it happens, not yell after it's already too late. So what are we even looking for? You already know these signs. It's that certain way they start sniffing the rug right before they have an accident, or that frantic, wild-eyed excitement they get just before they start nipping at your hands, or even just that tiny little flicker of distraction right before they decide to completely ignore you. Seeing this stuff isn't magic. It's just paying attention. Okay, so this next part is maybe the most surprising piece of the entire puzzle. The source calls this the real trick, and I guarantee it is not what you think it is. So after all of this, after realizing it's all about timing and observation, what's the single best, #1 trick you can use to train your puppy? Silence. Yep, that's it. Not some fancy gadget or a secret command word from a book, just silence. Now hold on, this doesn't mean you just become a mime all day. It's strategic silence. It means waiting for that moment when your puppy chooses to look at you, and then, bam, you reward that focus. It means interrupting a mistake with a quick sound before it happens instead of screaming after it's done. See, the silence creates the space for your puppy to actually think and to choose to connect with you. And when you do this, something amazing starts to happen. Your puppy starts to check in with you, to look to you for cues before they act. And that right there, that's not just blind obedience, that's trust. Which brings us to our final section where you get to put this all into practice. It's time for your turn, the 24-hour challenge. Here's the deal. For the next 24 hours, I want you to try this experiment. No shouting, no nagging them with commands over and over. Your only job is to watch. And every single time your puppy chooses to look at you to give you their focus, you reward them. Remember, the goal here isn't their perfect behavior, it's your perfect time. And that leaves us with one last thing to think about. Whether you have a puppy now or you've had one in the past, what is or was the single hardest part of training for you? Because once you realize the real challenge isn't the dog, but your own timing and your own habits, well, that changes the whole game, doesn't it?